What is your American dream? My American dream is to always feel that we can be ourselves and be accepted being different. That's my American dream, where we can finally embrace differences, accept differences, and include differences.
Well, of course, achieving American dreams would be to have a house, a car, but I already have all that. So now it's more like sort of leaving a legacy behind, and again, helping one another, getting to know more people, trying to do good.
This is my dream, to build this organization, to build as well a group for immigrant women and make everyone happy.
My American dream is to be able to write more. That's what I would like to do, and help my community.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! Oh, hello everybody! Happy Tuesday! Groundhog Sam here! Did you miss yesterday's episode of Bradshaw Live? Well, in case you did, it was a real hoot. So you know, I'm very involved with the social media speed round. If you recall, I even practiced with Brad to try to get him a little better at it. How many pretzels do I have
Pretzels,
to pay
what?
the Department of Homeland Security to pick up Groundhog George and get him deported?
Wasn't George born here in New York?
Perhaps. So every time Brad does the social media speed round with Belgium Kim and Yonathan Elias, I'm always counting to make sure that they get all the answers they say they're going to answer in a specific amount of time. So I was doing that, and then this happened. Ready? You guys can do it. 25 questions in 6 minutes. You can do it. One. What is this? Oh, it's Jenny from the cubicle. Oh my God, I'm rolling. That's so funny. Oh, they're never going to be able to do it now. They're going to be distracted by the Jenny from the cubicle. Two. I'm rolling on the floor. It's the funniest thing ever. Yay, Jenny from the cubicle. 3. Oh my God. Let me tell you, this is getting real stressful now. Oh my God, this bomb freaks me out. Oh no. 24. Come on, one more. Oh, one more. Oh, they didn't do it. They were so close. They needed one more question. Just one more question is all they needed. So people, as you can see, it was a very funny and exciting episode. And I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with the fact that they were able to get 24 questions done in 6 minutes. They were shy of 1, but considering the distraction of our new graphic, I think they did pretty well. Anyway, it was such an exciting show. We also covered the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team ticker tape parade because they won the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup. The U.S. Women's National Soccer Team has won 4 World Women's Cup titles, and 2 consecutively. The last time they won was in 2015, and they had a ticker tape parade right outside the office, and it was amazing, and Yo-Yo was there to cover it all, and I was there also, and then I helped the guys clean up after. Okay, people, now is the time you have all been waiting for. It is time for Bradshaw Live, starring Brad Bernstein with co-hosts Belgium Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias. Enjoy! Let the show begin!
Welcome everybody, a little late. Oh wow, look at this. I gotta stick that in. Welcome everybody, a little late. It's Tuesday, July 16th. I was about to say Friday. I don't even know what I'm saying.
That would be great.
That would be great, but it's Tuesday.
We don't have to come the rest of the week.
I was about to say Friday. I looked at the card and I said, oh, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, you did.
It felt like Friday because it was very hot outside.
It was
really hot.
And it's going to be hotter tomorrow.
Really?
Right. Does it like when it gets hot, doesn't it feel like weekend hot?
Yeah.
It was like weekend hot today.
I'm definitely going to the beach.
It feels not right to be at work when it's that hot.
Right.
Yes,
you should be at the beach.
I agree. You should be inside the studio in an air-conditioned room
Yeah,
all day long. Belgium Kim, Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, how are you?
Great.
Hey, doing well.
All right. I got to say hello to Dawn Harriet, Christy Consali, Angela Barrett, Flory McLeod, Jessica Leamy, Lisa Bling Rose. How are you? Julian, back.
Not to be mistaken.
Did not see Julian yesterday, did we? No, I don't think so. Melissa Robinson. I'm answering my own questions now. Nobody's talking to me. Abigail Abelsam, Ali Boo Beecher. How are you, Ali Boo?
We love us some Ali Boo.
Sweet X Theorist, right? Nuwerb Princess Ansuar.
Ooh, she had a comment of the day yesterday.
Did I pronounce that properly? Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
I'm answering my own questions.
I just answered for you.
No, I'm doing my own. I'm solo today. No, it's all right.
You're gonna be asking the questions as well.
Yeah, Rich Kitsy. We found out about. We didn't find out. We found out about him the other day, didn't we? Well, we never found out about Rich Kitsy.
No, we did not.
We found out about DJ Killer Buzz yesterday.
We found out about DJ Killer Buzz.
Boy, I'm a little out of it today so far, right?
So far, but that's okay.
It's okay. I'll start warming up. I'm going to start warming up. Lavonde Tucker, a Broadway star, of course. Lisa, First Lady Hewitt, Lisa Bling Rose, Oscar Crucis says, "What's up, Brad?" And on YouTube, Tracy Lacey, Chino. You ever met Chino before?
Chino.
Isn't that like a
type of pant?
I was about to say like a color of a pant.
Oh, is it the color?
It's the
I thought it
color.
was the style of the
maybe
pant.
it's the style.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I know frat boys wear Cheetos.
But
I don't know what they
like
look
a Cheeto,
like.
it's always beige, right? I always thought it was the
true.
color, but
So that
maybe
makes sense.
it's the style. Max Santos, not a pair of pants.
Right.
Ashwani Pandy, how are you? I said Tracy Lacey, Carol the Tap, Cat Tigress 2, Anderson saying hi, Brad, Kim, Yonathan, Sam, Jill, squad up. Sandy Monteiro saying hello. Derek with a question. We'll get to you. El Presidente.
Hey.
El Presidente has a question. We'll get to you, El Presidente.
Thank you, Brad.
Okay. And who else we have here? Jasmina Lesavakura, also with a question.
Wow.
Lots of people asking their
new,
questions right up front. Very smart, by the way.
Right.
Good strategy.
Very.
Your best strategy is to ask the question right up front.
Absolutely.
All right, because the longer you wait, the less likely it is we will get to it. And Danny, quite Contreras, saying hello, squad. And by the way, talking about the Brad Squad, we have Flory McLeod in the Brad Squad spotlight today.
Yeah.
Yes, Flory McLeod. Her name is Scarlet Knight on YouTube.
Yes.
But Flory McLeod on Facebook. She is Jamaican, born in New Jersey, and currently lives in Orlando, Florida. There she is, very pretty. She's a single mom of 3 daughters. She's the grandma, too?
Wow.
Come on.
Those
Put that
are
first
daughters
picture back.
and grandkids.
She's no grandma.
Wow.
That is no grandma.
Grandma.
Belgium Kim, she looks your age.
I know.
Okay, she looks like a
And
millennial.
And also,
all right?
Super
she's
young.
hilarious because she said, "I'm Jamaican," and I thought that was so funny. She's so funny.
Right, okay.
We chatted for a while.
Well, I've been called Jamaican, right? So now there's Jamaican.
Jamaican.
She's also engaged.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Off the
look at
market.
them.
Off the market, squad.
But they're so
But
cute
she's a
together.
wonderful man. But they are separated by a continent right now.
Oh.
Why are they separated by a continent, Belgium Kim?
Because he lives, I believe, in Jamaica, and she lives in Florida.
But that's not,
Wow.
is that a continent or just separated by a body of water?
Well, it's a body of water,
I don't
but
think
she
that-
said a continent
Okay,
away,
all
and
right.
I let her have
You let
the
her.
words.
Okay, fine. Okay, so it's a continent. She is a Rutgers graduate. That's what they learned there.
Yep.
Okay. And Flory is a payroll accountant who loves reggae, shockingly, from Jamaica, right? Bowling, and the Florida A&M marching band, perhaps because maybe she has somebody in that band.
No, she just loves marching bands.
Oh, she loves
marching
I
bands.
thought
but
she was. I thought it was
Florida-
going to be like her son or her daughter's in the marching band.
She
No,
just
she went
likes
to
it.
Rutgers.
Oh,
She went to.
Rutgers.
I was going to say yes. So she just loves the Florida A&M
She loves marching
bands.
bands, and
FAMU is pretty
FAMU
dope.
is her favorite.
Yeah,
Okay.
FAMU is her
FAMU
favorite.
And
has a good one.
when she's not watching Law and Order SVU,
Right.
and she's not
Fair.
watching the Florida A&M marching band,
Yeah.
and she's not bowling,
Right.
and she's not listening to reggae,
Oh.
she will find some time for her newest obsession,
What is that?
Brad Show Live.
Wow.
You're damn right.
Right, she loves the show because it's
Yeah.
so informative and we are in different formations every day.
The-
She loves the formations that we go in. You know?
We do. You never know.
We watch
Sometimes
Florida
we're in the
A&M.
middle.
We watch Florida A&M. We try to get into that formation
Right.
just for Florrie McLeod. There she is. By the way, there is no way she's a grandma. Can we see that picture again?
Yeah,
because she really looks like she's 25 years old, right?
She looks super young.
25,
Beautiful
30,
skin.
right?
We have a picture.
That she doesn't look. If you told me, I have no idea how old she is.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you told me, looking at that first picture, how old is she? I would say 30.
Yeah.
Max.
Absolutely.
Right? And-
Absolutely.
right? That is
Look
30
at it.
years old,
Yeah.
31, 32.
No.
Not even that.
And she's a grandma.
Yeah, because
that's-
look, those are that one picture with the 3 women and the 2 kids. Those are her 3 grown,
Wow.
beautiful daughters and her 2 grandchildren.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Right.
If
The
I
look like
5
sisters.
Z's. She
Wow.
calls them the 5 Z's. They all have Z names.
if she's a grandma, I'm like Father Time. You know
I
that
know,
old
right?
guy from the cartoon who walks around with the white beard.
That long white
when
beard.
I was
beard.
like, wow, your kids are beautiful. She's like, those are my grandkids.
Oh my
my
God.
like jaw dropped to the floor. I was like,
Wow.
no way, no way.
All right, Belgium Kim, Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias. We have low viewership at this moment. Go tell people what they need to do so we can get the word out to as many people as we can.
Absolutely. Guys, everybody start off with clicking the link that we're going to put in right now to join the Brad Squad group. And with that, you will get different incentives. You'll get a lot of things that the other pages and the other groups like the YouTube groups and Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein groups will not get. You will get first dibs. The first 5 people to comment, we will answer your social media questions first. All right, so you guys make sure you like it. And of course, we'll be putting some content on there that we won't put on the other pages. Now for Facebook, we need y'all to share right now because it is pretty low right now. And we have an amazing show lined up for you guys. So we need you guys to share. Press that little arrow, share it to anybody's page, share it to groups that you think might benefit from the show. And also, please share it in an inbox. Share it into a personal inbox, let them know about the show, and tell them to also share as well. So it's not only sharing, but tell your friends and family to share as well. And we also want you guys to start a watch party. Starting a watch party puts the whole show on your page, and it sends a whole little ding notification to your entire friends group, and you guys can actually watch it on your page. But also remember, come back in on the main page and type in the comment section. We definitely want the interaction. We want to hear what you guys have to say about anything and everything that we're talking about, and most importantly, put your social media questions in there. And what are we going to be doing on YouTube?
On YouTube, the first thing that you guys are going to do is make sure that you have subscribed to our page and hit that little bell. You do it just like that little graphic.
Yeah.
And also make sure that you're commenting and telling us everything you think and feel. Scarlett Knight, who just had her moment in the Brad Squad Spotlight, typed in to let us know that her fiance is in South Africa. So in fact, a continent away.
That is a continent away.
A continent away.
yeah.
All right.
And second, she is a 45 years young, 44 years young.
I don't buy it.
45
I
years young.
think
It's a real person.
I think those are some kids she found at the King Cullen, and she just says they're her grandkids. I don't believe it in 1 minute.
Listen, the only reason we know, Brad, is because people interacted with us in the YouTube comments.
Okay.
So keep doing that.
Can you imagine she goes around the King College and says, "Okay, take some pictures. You'll be my grandkids."
Just a preschool.
Yes,
just
exactly.
like, hey. Also, make sure that you share the show. It's the best, easiest, most wonderful thing you can do for us, family. Just hit share, hit copy link, and you can really share it to anybody, anywhere in the world. You can share it as an Instagram, DM, a tweet. Most importantly, start a new group on WhatsApp or send the link to the existing groups that you're a member of on WhatsApp. I am a member of like 18 WhatsApp groups. Textra, group me, however you communicate with all your people, copy that link and paste it to them right now, because here's the time you've all been waiting for. It's the time we schmooze with Brad.
All right, and another schmoozing day and more crappy news to start off the schmooze.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, oh Lord is right. Remember Eric Garner?
Yeah.
He was the gentleman who had a warrant for his arrest for selling illegal cigarettes.
Yes.
Selling
And cigarettes on Staten Island.
Right.
And the cops came to arrest him for that outstanding warrant. And apparently there was he didn't want to get arrested so quickly, and 5 or 6 cops pounced on him, jumped on his stomach. One cop put his hands. I'm recalling, it was 5 years ago. I don't remember the whole story. I remember one cop. We're going to play the video in a second, but my recollection is several cops jumped on him. One cop put his arm in a chokehold, and there was a video of him saying, "I'm choking, let me go, I can't breathe."
Right.
And look at that right there. And he eventually died.
Yeah.
And it was obviously excessive force, police brutality,
Absolutely.
police homicide.
Yes.
Okay, it was police homicide. Okay, nobody deserves to die for selling an illegal cigarette. Okay, the cops should just let him. If he doesn't want to get arrested, go. Okay, before you go and kill somebody for selling an illegal cigarette. Right. It's not like he was, gunning down people on the freeway or something. So 5 years since his death.
Yeah.
And
Gosh,
this
that's
is the
crazy how-
statute of limitations to bring a civil rights violation against the police officers to hold them responsible for his death. The statute of limitations deadline is tomorrow. And the U.S. Attorney under the Trump administration has reviewed all of the facts. And we're going to go back and look at this video again. And he said he can't prove that. Who was the cop? It was Daniel Pantaleo. That was the cop that ultimately choked him and killed him.
Right.
He couldn't prove that Pantaleo intentionally did it. And therefore, they will not bring any charges against him. Let's go back and look at that video one more time.
Put your hand behind your back. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Okay, I can't breathe means, and they don't do anything?
Right.
And they put their arms. I mean, nobody forced this cop to put his arms around his head
Right, seems
or
very
his neck.
intentional.
There was 5 other cops on top of him. I
Right.
don't think he was going anywhere.
Right.
All right, where was he going?
That's intention right
That
there.
is intention.
Right.
I don't see how you can say it any other way.
There's no way you
as an
can.
attorney,
Right.
I mean, I'm not a prosecutor. Okay, but if I was a prosecutor, I would just say, look at the video. I don't have to say anymore. Look at the video. I don't have to say anymore.
Go to YouTube.
Okay,
You just-
because he could have taken his hands off of his neck
at any point.
at any point.
Yeah.
This man was not getting away. This man was not turning around. He couldn't be violent against any of the police. They couldn't. Look at this. 6 cops on top of this
crazy.
guy. There is no way in the world that they could say, because they're like, oh well, we felt our life was in danger. He could turn around and take out a weapon or hit us. We had to. But there were 6 people on top of this guy.
Patted him down.
He didn't need to choke the guy.
Right.
Oh.
Okay, and he's saying, I can't breathe. And they killed him. And U.S. Attorney General William Barr made the decision. It was ultimately his decision,
Right.
William Barr's decision, not to bring charges, siding with a Justice Department team from New York over the Civil Rights Division in Washington. Now,
Wow.
the Civil Rights Division in Washington said they should bring charges. This is a violation of this man's civil rights. They intentionally killed him. But William Barr said, can't prove anything.
Yeah.
William Barr, by the way, is also the same guy who said couldn't prove that Trump did anything wrong with
Right.
Russia.
Right.
Couldn't prove anything. And meanwhile, it was a 400-page report of things he did wrong.
Right.
Okay. Couldn't prove he made any crime. This guy is a prosecutor of nobody.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, wait, no, that's not true. He prosecutes a lot of Central Americans,
Right.
okay, who are escaping violence, throw them in jail, they're bad. Lift the cop out, he's okay. Trump, he didn't do anything wrong, he's okay.
Right.
But some poor Guatemalan, some poor Honduran, some poor El Salvadoran coming to the United
crazy.
States to apply for asylum, throw that mother effer, that's basically what he says, in jail.
Sick.
So members of Garner's family, the Reverend Al Sharpton, several others met with federal prosecutors on Tuesday to learn of the decision. That's how it became public. Garner's mother, Gwen Carr, said the Department of Justice had failed them. I agree. 5 years ago, my son said, I can't breathe 11 times.
11 times.
And today, we can't breathe because they let us down. Now, the decision means that Pantaleo will not face any criminal charges at all. Nothing related to Garner's death, though he does face departmental charges. He has been sitting at a desk, without a gun,
all this time,
collecting a paycheck, and collecting his time towards a pension.
Oh, what?
So he's lost absolutely nothing, and he sits at his desk, presumably playing on his iPhone.
Right.
Okay. Now, federal investigators have been examining the circumstances of Garner's death. I don't think there's a lot to examine.
Right.
I honestly don't. Play the video one more time. Tell me if there's anything to examine
Right.
here. Please. I'm reading this.
Put your hands, buddy. Put your hand behind your back. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
All right. I'm convinced.
Right.
I don't know what took
Clear
5
as
years.
day.
The city of New York settled with Garner's estate for $5.9 million.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know. I didn't represent. But when you talk about in New York at least, the value of a person's life, in that circumstance, is what was his pain and suffering from the time the cops jumped him to the time he died. Did he suffer for 30 minutes? Did he suffer for an hour? Did he suffer for 5 hours? I don't know. I don't know what the time frame. I don't remember the time frame between the time the cops jumped him and the time that.
So that's how they go.
So maybe I don't think he was alive for very long.
Right.
Okay.
Because what did he have, like an asthma attack?
Yeah, he had an
or
asthma
something?
attack. So he wasn't alive very long. So his pain and suffering was an hour, 2 hours. Was less than a day.
Right.
It wasn't
Right.
weeks and weeks and months and months and
Right.
months.
Right.
So that's one component. What was his pain and suffering for that particular day?
Okay.
And then the other component is what was the lost earnings that he would have had throughout his lifetime.
What?
Yes, that's how. So in other words, if he was 40 years old, and you get an economist to say, well, he would have been working XYZ, he would have been making $50,000 a year or $75,000. I'm just telling you how it works.
Right. But
okay, and then you multiply it plus inflation, and you come to a number.
Wow.
Wait, so legally, the value of a human life for legal purposes is only what you are able to earn through a job.
Correct, plus your pain and suffering.
Wow.
Plus your pain and suffering.
Wow.
That in New York State, that's what it is.
So
if you, for example, Belgium Kim.
Yeah.
And I don't wish this on you.
No,
Okay,
well, no.
all right.
Good. Don't even use me as an example.
All right, I won't use Belgium Kim. All right, let's say our friend Jane.
Right.
Okay, there's no Jane who works here, but let's say Jane works here.
Right.
Okay, and Jane makes $25,000 a year, and she walks across the street on Broadway.
Yeah.
She gets run over by a bus.
Right.
Had nothing to do with police.
Right.
Okay. Instantly dead.
Right.
So her pain and suffering was split second. Okay. So what is that worth? Almost nothing. So then you just calculate what were her lost earnings. The case is how sick it is. How sick it is the cases where you hear the person made $20 million, $30 million, $40 million, $50 million.
Right.
Those are the cases where the person is maimed and is in pain for 10, 20, 30 years and has to walk around in wheelchairs. And
I see.
Because then
The pain and suffering
is huge.
Right.
Plus medical care, plus future medical care, plus medical supplies, plus lost earnings.
Wow.
That's when you get the 20, 30 million. But if
if you're alive.
It's a sick thing. It's a sick thing, but that's how it works.
So how about the Corey Wise? I feel like they didn't really get that much money. The Central Park 5.
But that may have been a level of intentionality or recklessness in there as well, which is different. I don't know here whether it was. I think the allegation was negligent.
Right. Yeah.
Homicide, not intentional. Obviously. Right. So I don't know. It's because when you have, who was the guy, the Haitian immigrant who with the baton, he got, I forgot his name.
Back in California?
Abdou Diallo. Louima Diallo. He survived.
Right.
Right.
He got a lot more money.
Right.
And he had a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Obviously, and it was intentional what they did to him.
So was that like a Rodney King
Well, I can only tell you about New York.
New York.
I don't
Right,
know
right.
what
California, so it's different.
laws
Because
are.
he sure didn't get
Yeah.
enough.
I feel like Munchie Daly is totally right. She just said that cop is still getting paid for killing an innocent man.
Munchie
Yeah.
Daly is 100% right. I think I said that
Basically.
earlier. I
Yeah.
said this guy sat there, he got a paycheck, and
So,
got
pension.
money towards his pension,
That's
and got
crazy.
health care for him and his
That
family,
is crazy.
and got free legal services from his union.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right? He didn't have to pay a thing.
You know what? I think that what you made a point recently that talked about how to avoid this kind of thing, and hitting cops where it hurts in terms of pension and pocketbook, I think is one of the most
Yeah,
brilliant
it's
things
supposed
I've
to
heard.
suspension with no
I
pay.
said
Talking
that.
about this.
I said that.
Yeah.
As it relates to immigration.
Absolutely.
And I think I said that was the woman. I think I told it was the woman who pulled over to help the people on the Teresa Todd.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
On this in Texas on the side of the road,
Yeah.
and then Department of Homeland Security ICE came and said she's helping to smuggle children when
Right.
she was
Right.
trying to help children who were sick on the side of the road,
Right.
and she got arrested. And I told her, not only does she have a false, arrest claim for her time in jail, but she should also, under federal law, she can file a Bivens claim. And the Bivens claim is against that personal
I see.
person for that officer who arrested her. Quite frankly, I don't know if this family still is able to do that or not. I don't know. I don't remember what the statute of limitations is on it. But they can personally sue that
cop.
That cop.
Wow.
Yeah, on federal law.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah. All right. Meanwhile, what is this? Prime Day? What is Prime Day? It brings out anti-Amazon wave of protests.
Yeah, Prime
Why
Day?
are people protesting Amazon?
It's Prime. Well, right now it's Prime Day.
All right. So Amazon workers around the world are using Amazon's biggest shopping day, Prime Day,
Yeah.
to
It's their
voice
Black
their
Friday.
concerns, staging walkouts and strikes, protesting everything from working conditions in warehouses to climate issues to its ties to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. Much of the activist attention in the United States was directed at Shakopee, Minnesota,
Wow.
where Amazon warehouse workers wanted to raise awareness of what they describe as poor working conditions. These workers were joined by tech workers from Amazon Employees for Climate Justice, a group pushing Amazon to address climate issues. Other activists took place in New York, Seattle, San Francisco. The company has repeatedly defended itself against claims of worker mistreatment.
God,
I have no idea.
Amazon needs to really step their game up, I feel
They're
like.
having very bad publicity these days.
Yeah.
Between what happens with New York City,
Yep.
okay, and this. I don't know. Maybe it's true. I have no idea. I have to take what the workers are saying on face value.
Right.
Without actually being there and seeing or reading
Yeah.
about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I take it on face value that these things are happening.
The conditions
Right.
within those warehouses are
Yeah.
terrible.
Meanwhile, Pence confirms that there's worsening conditions in the migrant detention centers,
Yeah.
and children are alleging sex assault
Oh.
and retaliation from ICE agents while in detention.
Oh my God.
Now, Vice President Mike Pence told reporters in McAllen, Texas, over the weekend that there was a stench in this jail.
Oh my God.
This is the Vice President.
Wow.
Crowded rooms, and he heard sounds of shouting men at the center of a political firestorm.
Right.
Access has been severely limited at these sites, but this is what Pence is reporting.
Right, this is Pence.
Okay. Now he toured 2 facilities on Friday.
Wow.
One a border patrol detention facility for single adults. Now reporter Josh Dorsey tweeted, Vice President Pence saw 384 men sleeping inside fences on concrete with no pillows or mats. They said they hadn't showered in weeks.
Ugh.
They wanted toothbrushes. They wanted food. The stench was overwhelming. Customs and Border Patrol said they were fed regularly, could brush daily, and recently got access to a shower. Many hadn't showered for more than 20 days. The men yelled to Pence, "No shower! No shower!"
Oh my God.
As Pence looked on from the other side of what is in essence a cage.
Right.
In a press conference after the tour, Pence called it a tough situation.
No.
A tough situation?
You think?
That's not a tough situation. That is inhumane situation.
Yeah.
That is treating people like animals situation. That is you should be ashamed of yourself situation. Especially after you saw it firsthand
Right.
and come out and say it's tough.
Yeah.
It's not tough. It's very easy to fix.
Right.
There's child abuse apparently also. The poor treatment of migrant children at the hands of U.S. border agents in recent months extends beyond Texas to include allegations of sexual assault and retaliation for protests. A 16-year-old Guatemalan boy held in Yuma, Arizona, said he and others in his cell complained about the taste of the water and the food. CBP agents took the mats out of their cells in retaliation, forcing them to sleep on hard concrete.
Oh my God.
A 15-year-old girl from Honduras described a large bearded officer putting his hands inside her bra,
Oh my God.
pulling down her underwear and groping her as part of what was meant to be a routine pat-down in front of other immigrants and officers.
What?
In almost 30 accounts
God.
prepared by case managers for the Department of Health and Human Services in just 2 months, kids at Yuma border station repeatedly describe poor conditions that are not pure byproducts of overcrowding. Excuse me.
Of course, right.
All children who gave these accounts to case managers have been held at the border station longer than the 72 hours permitted by law. These are different children who may or may not have had contact with each other. Nobody's coordinating these stories.
Right.
You're hearing it time and
That's
time
crazy.
and time
Right.
again.
And we hear the same one.
Yeah.
Over and again.
The new reports are even heartbreaking when taking into account a House Oversight Committee report that stated that at least 18 migrant children under the age of 2 were separated from their parents for 20 days or more to 6 months.
Less than 2
It's insane that is happening in our country, like in the U.S.
This Jeffrey Epstein, he's a sicko. I can't even talk about him.
Okay.
Can we move on? He's sick. He just has to go to jail and stay there
on.
forever.
Yeah.
All right. Trump administration is looking to fine immigrants up to $500,000 now. I don't want to scare you. It hasn't happened yet. Just news reports. The Department of Homeland Security sent out a batch of notices across the country that target individuals, ordering them to pay up to nearly $500,000 for failing to depart the U.S. as previously agreed.
So ridiculous.
I don't know how they'd ever collect that money. Okay. I think that's again up there with the we're gonna have massive raids on Sunday.
Well, and one of the women that they interviewed said that she and her family had been living in a church under sanctuary for the last year and a half. They have nothing. They are and she got a letter that said they owe $500,000. Where is she going to get $500,000 from?
And you know what? And after they deport her, how's the U.S. government going to collect it anyway?
Collect on that? Like,
so
what is that?
The whole thing is just for newspapers to scare people.
Yep.
All right, just like these raids. Okay. Founder of an African American history museum was discovered dead in a car trunk.
In New Orleans, right?
Baton Rouge.
I did not hear about this. Okay. Jill says it's a big deal. It's the first.
It's in Baton Rouge.
Sadie Roberts Joseph, a 75-year-old Louisiana woman who founded an African American history museum, was discovered dead in the trunk of her car on Friday. Now, Baton Rouge Police Chief Murphy Paul said he's confident that they're going to make an arrest. That's her.
That's her.
Now, following an autopsy on Monday, the East Baton Rouge Parish Coroner's Office determined the death was asphyxia, suffocation. Somebody suffocated her.
Right.
Now, Roberts Joseph did not die by strangulation, adding her nose and mouth were blocked. So somebody put something in her mouth and covered her nose. Her body was recovered after an anonymous caller reported finding her. Her son had a strong message for the killer. You stole light. You stole a warm, loving, giving, and caring woman. And it wasn't just for her family. She cared for the city. She cared for you. She would want forgiveness for you.
Wow.
In 2001, she founded the Odell S. Williams Now and Then African American Museum, and for years hosted the city's Juneteenth festivities. And that's very, very sad.
That's horrible.
She also founded the Community Against Drugs and Violence, a nonprofit organization focused on creating a safer environment for children in North Baton Rouge.
And these are the people that you guys are killing off.
Yes.
Right.
Wow.
Now, this is, I think, very interesting. I actually read about this.
Okay.
22 states. I never even realized this because I'm not a woman. Okay. I don't know if you ever realized this.
Well, I'm not a woman either, so I probably haven't.
But there is a tax on feminine products and tampons.
Well, yeah, I definitely did.
Okay. So now there is I never knew.
Unless that counts as like female deodorant, Secret, is that the same thing or
no?
Is it
No. It's a tampon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a movement is, to repeal the so-called tampon tax, the state sales tax applied to menstrual products, 22 states are now considering removing that tax. 35 states still tax tampons. Opponents to the tax argue that tampons and pads should be treated like groceries, medical supplies, like a Viagra. They should be tax exempt because they're a necessity for a woman. All right. Can you imagine you can buy a Viagra and don't have to pay tax on it?
For real?
Yes.
For real. But you have to pay tax on a tampon?
Because it's medication.
Okay. So if you buy a box of pads every month.
It's not medication.
Okay. If you buy a box of pads, let's do the math here. If you buy a box of pads every month for 40 years, those charges add up. It's called a pink tax. They're taxing women. Men don't have to pay that tax. Supporters of the tax argue that states need the revenue. Well, find it another way. Find it in a way that it's taxed equally between men and women. Public opinion opposes the tax. One poll surveyed found 2,000 women in the United States last month and found that 7% of the respondents thought the tax on period products was sexist. What was the other 30 thinking? I'm like, what? The other 33% were in a coma and were unable to respond. I mean, what were they thinking?
You know what? This was a survey asking women. That 30% is the same 30% of women who voted for Donald Trump.
I bet you. I bet you.
And is that
between 2016 and 2018, Nevada, New York, Florida, Connecticut, and Illinois have eliminated the tax. Around the world, Canada, India, Malaysia, and Australia have also nixed the tax. Here's something very interesting. I read about this. Cuomo approved a law banning hairstyle discrimination.
Yes.
I like that.
I did hear about
Andrew
this.
Cuomo approved a new law making New York one of the first states in the nation to ban discrimination based on ethnic hairstyles.
Yes.
It amends the human rights law by adding traits historically associated with race, including but not limited to hair texture and protective hairstyles, to the definition of race as a protected class. So if you go to work and your boss says, change your hairstyle, and you say, no, this is my hairstyle. This is how I enjoy wearing it. It has something to do with my own ethnicity. This is how I was born. And he says, no, straighten it out, color it, cut it, whatever it is. Okay? You now have a lawsuit against that employer.
Woo! Abercrombie and Fitch is definitely going to have a lot of lawsuits.
Very true. Very true.
From the get, honestly.
It's called the Crown Act, and it has already taken effect.
Nice.
California approved its own law last month, and now California and New York are the first two states that allow that, and congratulations both to New York and California.
Good for them.
And that's all the news we got to print today.
Awesome.
Belgium Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias. Why don't you tell everybody to please share while I stretch and get ready to answer their immigration questions.
Absolutely. Facebook family, YouTube family, there's one thing that you all need to do right this second, and it's join the Brad Show Live Brad Squad on Facebook. The easiest way that you do that is make sure to do facebook.com/Brad Show Live Brad Squad, or just search Brad Squad in Facebook. That'll give you an ability to join the group. Yonathan and I are standing by, ready to accept all of the friend requests that we get on that group, but you're going to get tons of exclusive content that you're not going to see anywhere else. And every single day we will pick the first 5 questions asked in that group to be the first questions we ask on the show during social media check-in. So it is your only guaranteed opportunity to get your questions answered. Also, if you haven't done so, Facebook fam, make sure to like, follow the page. You know you want to hit that little bell, get that notification when we go live, because all of you guys post at like 5:45. Like, where's the show? It's coming at like 5:49, fam. Also, make sure that you have commented all of your thoughts and feelings, because we're about to start answering some calls, and you know how Brad gets with all these callers. There's conversation, there's life stories being told, things are happening. So make sure you comment to tell us how you think and feel. And of course, the last but most important thing that you need to do is share the show. Share it right now to 5 friends. That's all I need, 5 friends, fam. And you can share it as a private message in someone's inbox, or even better, start your very own watch party and it'll send a notification to all of your people that you're watching something right now. And you get your own comment thread. Yo, on YouTube, what do we do?
On YouTube, you guys are not off the hook with sharing, but first, I need everybody to subscribe, just like you see that little graphic right there. It's a red rectangle that says subscribe, and also click on that bell so you can find out when we pop up. because we will be popping up. All right. So now we definitely want you to share, and how you share is copy the link and send it to anybody's page on any social media platform. But most importantly, we want you to share it on a WhatsApp group. So create a group of friends and family. If you have multiple groups, that's even good. Send it in those groups and tell your friends to also send it as well. This is how we get the word out. It's the ripple effect, okay? Takes a village. You guys already know about that. Now, we also want you guys to comment in the comment section, just like you guys have been doing. YouTube, you guys have been killing it, but Facebook does it a little bit more, so I need YouTube to catch up. I want to know what you guys are feeling about the shows. I love that you guys put your questions in. YouTube gets down to business. They just throw their questions in. But we definitely want to hear exactly what you guys feel about anything we talk about as well, okay? And like I said, of course, put your questions in there, your social media questions, because we will get to them right after this segment. And this is the segment where you actually call in and Brad answers your immigration questions. We're getting answers to your immigration questions.
All right, we got Jeremy in Tool, Utah. Jeremy, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So, yeah, I've been wanting to try and ask you a question because it seems like a question that nobody really has the right answer for.
Okay.
But
maybe I have it, maybe I don't.
What's that?
I said maybe I have it, maybe I don't. I don't know. Let's see.
Okay. Well, my wife was recently denied after her adjustment of status interview because during the interview, the interviewer kind of coerced her into stating that she may or may not have claimed as a citizen on a previous work application, and so
well, let me ask you a question. Okay, do they have a form or a piece of paper that they have in their file that says that when she applied for the job and filled out the I-9 form, which is what you fill out when you apply for a job to prove that you're legal to work in America, do they have a form that says that she made that she wrote that she's a citizen?
During the interview, no, he did not provide anything of that nature.
So why would they coerce her? Tell me what or I don't know if you want to tell me. Yeah,
because he was saying, well, they started off because on the application, the preparer didn't actually check off that she worked. He put that she didn't work. So he started asking her questions about, well, how did you get a job? Because he was wondering why or how she was working, and even though it said that on her application she wasn't. And so she was speaking about her job that she had worked at in the past. She said, at the time she had showed them her driver's privilege card.
Let me ask you a question. When she showed her driver's license and social security card, okay, this is it. It's not about coercing, okay? You have to when you go and apply for a job, there are some companies that make you fill out an I-9 form. There are other companies that don't make you fill out an I-9 form. And quite frankly, I don't want you to tell me what she did because I think she should have a private consultation with me. But let me tell you what the situation is because I understand it. Okay? So if a company comes to you and you're undocumented or you're not legal to work and they say, we can only hire you if you prove to us that you're legal to work, one of the ways to prove you're legal to work is, they say, a list from column A, a list from column B. It's like a Chinese menu. You have a driver's license, you have a social security number, and then you check off a box that you're a U.S. citizen. And that's sufficient to get a job to work. However, you are filling out an I-9 form that is kept by this company that the Immigration Service can, if they choose to, go look at this documentation. And then at that point, if she did fill out the I-9 and say, here's my driver's license, here's my social security, then it's possible that she made a false claim to U.S. citizenship. It's also possible she just filled out the form and said, here's my license, here's my social security number, and did nothing else. Okay? So we don't need to talk about it on the air because I don't have attorney-client privilege with you. Okay? Let me say this. Okay, one other thing, and then I'll let you talk. Okay, to a point. I'm not going to let you talk completely because I don't want you to say something. Okay. But let me just say one other thing. I know you're anxious, but let me say one other thing. All right.
Okay.
The other thing I wanted to say is that if you are out of status and you work as an undocumented alien and you are married to a U.S. citizen, it is not a bar to get a green card because you worked out of status. So she should have said, yes, I worked out of status. The problem becomes, one, if you filled out an I-9 form and made a claim that you're a U.S. citizen, or two, if you lied about employment and say, I didn't work, and it turns out you did. So, at a bare minimum, she has a misrepresentation about lying about her employment, and at a bigger problem, if she did fill out an I-9 form and did say she's an American citizen, then that would be a false claim to citizenship. Now, you could fill out an I-9 form and not claim citizenship. I don't know what she filled out. And I understand now that that immigration officer had no document in front of him. So it was just an oral representation that your wife may or may not have understood when she was answering the question. So the answer is, I do have an answer. The answer is that you refile again. And hopefully she didn't make a false claim to U.S. citizenship. And hopefully they have no record that she made a false claim to U.S. citizenship. And then all she did was make a misrepresentation about whether she worked or didn't work, and she would need a waiver. Now I'll let you talk.
Okay. You kind of answered part of the question that I was kind of hoping for about saying that the next step would possibly be to just refile the 485.
Right.
So at the same time, well, we were thinking that we're going to be filing the 290B. First file the 485, and then maybe the 290B.
No,
like
you're
2
not,
weeks after.
What, the 290B meaning the appeal?
Or is that the request for review?
Yeah, but you can't do both. It's one or the other.
Okay, you can't do both. Okay,
Right, what I would do. Okay, I wouldn't do anything other than have a private, confidential, attorney-privileged conversation with a very good attorney. Now, you have spoken to many attorneys who couldn't give you an answer. I just gave you an answer.
Yeah.
Okay? So, that's what I would do. All right?
Okay.
So hold on one
Great.
second. What? Hold on.
Okay, are you letting me speak now? I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, I was going to put you on hold, but you want to speak? Keep going.
Okay, no, I was just going to ask, okay, can I go back to, what if, originally, the employer where she did work at,
Jeremy,
yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut
Okay.
up already. Why
Okay.
this stays for life on Facebook and YouTube. Didn't I just finish telling you there's no attorney-client privilege? You're telling this to the entire world. Shut
Okay.
up.
All right.
Hold on one second.
We haven't had one of those in a while.
Yeah.
No admitting to any kind of wrongdoing on a live show, y'all.
Right.
Wait till you get into his office.
Right. A closed door. If you don't see a closed door, don't do it.
All right. Raymond in Brooklyn. Raymond. Hold on, Raymond. Let's go to Joe in Chicago. Joe.
Hi, Brett.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, and you guys?
Good. What's going on?
Yeah, I have some questions for you guys.
What?
About my application for the employment authorization.
Yeah.
I did apply on December 4th of last year, 2018.
Right.
But I was reviewing the form like 2 days ago, and I noticed that I made a mistake when I was supposed to submit my passport information, because actually I have two. Instead of putting the expired one information, I did put the new one that I have. So
This is on your employment authorization document renewal. You put the wrong information.
Yes, just
well, either they'll send you. You've delayed your case. They'll either send you, most likely. I mean, I can't tell you 100%, but most likely they'll probably send you what's called an RFE, which is a request for further evidence to explain why the information that you put on your application doesn't jive with the information that they have in the computer, or they just may outright deny you and you'll have to refile again. One or the other.
But the problem is, but when I have to submit the papers, I remember that I did send both of my passport pictures.
All right, so maybe they'll realize it and just correct it for you. That's also possible. You don't know. All right, you have to see what
okay.
happens. All right,
And
one
also
way or
was
the other,
wondering-
one way or the other, you'll get a work permit. You may have delayed yourself, but one way or the other, you'll get a work permit.
Also, so I was wondering about the process time. They start counting about the time after the I-130 is approved, or it's just from the date you submitted your documents?
You are applying for a work permit based on what?
The marriage.
To a U.S. citizen.
Yes.
It is not from the time that I went. It's from the time that you file your adjustment application. Okay. So
Because I was wondering, 'cause
if you
the
filed
I-130 was
if you have not filed an adjustment application, you're not entitled to a work permit. It's the time if you have
Yeah,
an
I already
adjustment.
applied for it.
If you have an adjustment pending, you file the I-765. It takes 6 months from that time.
Oh yeah, because my green card, whatever, I had the interview like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah, so I was wondering because they told me like to wait until for like 120 days before making a status increase. I don't know why they. Because
after you have an interview, and if you've watched Bradshaw Live, and much of the Brad Squad will tell you this, they have 120 days under law to make a decision. And then if you've seen Abadir sues the government, Abadir comes in and says, if you haven't gotten a decision in 120 days, we sue the government. Mandamus. Mandamus, mandamus, mandamus. We haven't said it in a long time. So that's basically it. They have by law 120 days to make a decision. So hold strong and let's see what happens, all right?
Okay, thank you. So I don't have to like find a way to send them a letter for that. I just have to wait for.
You have to wait because as soon as you start sending letters, everything misses. Got to wait for them. All right, because everything is done based on barcodes. So if you don't have a barcode to respond to, your letter never gets to where it needs to get to.
Yeah, because that's the only thing I was wondering. Because since last
all right,
year,
Joe,
they sent me a notice.
You screwed up Joe, you screwed up the work permit. It'll work itself out. You just delayed yourself. Okay. Hopefully you get your green card and you don't have to worry.
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome. All right, let's go to Faith in Brooklyn. Faith.
Hello.
How are you, Faith?
Yeah, I'm good, and you?
Good. Your name is Faith?
Yeah.
Okay. What's up?
Yeah, nothing much. Yeah, I got a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother, his I-30 and I-485 was denied, and he did an appeal. So I was thinking if he could just, because we talked to some people and they advised that the refile is
well, first of all, there is no appeal. Okay.
Motion to reopen.
Yeah. Okay. I don't usually like motions to reopen. It's not what I don't generally. Now, every case is different, and every case, sits on its own facts. And certain facts, I would say, okay, yeah, do a motion to reopen. Okay. But to me, motions to reopen take as long as refiling a new adjustment, and then you don't get to renew your work permit while your motion is pending. 3, they can put you in deportation. And 4, your motion to reopen goes back to the same jerk who already denied you. So you're better off to refile again, and that way at least you get a new work permit. You have something pending, and hopefully your application goes to somewhere else. Now, I think it was Albert Einstein. Belgium Kim, are you tired?
No, not at all. What makes you think that?
I caught you yawning off air.
Oh, thank you so much for making sure to call that out, Brad.
Now I'm only kidding. I do. Okay. So Belgium Kim, I was going to ask. I was turning to ask you a question. Was it Albert Einstein who said that if you do the same thing twice, what is it that you are?
That's insanity.
That's insanity.
That's the definition.
Right. So if you're going to refile again and do everything exactly the same, you're going to get the same result. So you live in Brooklyn. Come see me at least for a consultation.
Yeah, while we're asking, they did a motion to reopen. I was asking if we could withdraw the motion to reopen and refile.
Yeah, probably would be generally that's what you would do. But if you're going to refile again and do the same thing, you're going to get the same result. So make sure you do something different. All right, come see me.
Yeah, it's possible to withdraw the motion to reopen and refile, right?
Yes. Hold on. Yes.
Yes.
You look nice today in the black.
Thank you.
I have to make up for saying that.
I was going to say that is an I feel bad compliment.
I felt very bad.
It's okay.
Such a random time to say
it. By the way, out of the corner.
I want you to know something. You look ravishing today, Belgium Kim, in the black dress. And Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, not only you're a handsome man, you're powerful as well, too. All right, I got to give compliments to everybody.
He's got to even it out.
I got to even it out. All right. Raymond in Brooklyn. Raymond.
Hello.
How are you, Raymond?
Hi, Brad. Good evening. I'm fine. You?
Good. What's going on?
Actually, I applied for citizenship, so they called me for interview next month, 13 August.
Right.
But my I-175 is pending still. So, I mean, they did not approve my I-175. It's been 20 months already. So I called USCIS. Even the extension they gave me,
right,
that will expire very soon. I mean, 18-month extension.
Okay.
For travel and work. So
you can go down to the local office, get a stamp in your passport for an extension. You can certainly file for your citizenship. I would just file a mandamus.
Yeah, I already applied for my citizenship. They
But
called me for the interview.
Okay, and?
They called me for the interview.
And what's I can guarantee you what's going to happen on the interview. They're going to say, you have a pending I-751. We got to see how that goes first. I can almost guarantee you that. That's what they've been saying to everybody. So it's not like you go for your interview for your citizenship and they're like, oh, yes, wonderful. Here's your green card. Here's your citizenship. What I would do, I mean, you did it already, so go on your citizenship interview and see what happens. But what I would do is just file a mandamus. Done in weeks. It's so easy. People are so scared of that. Belgium Kim, look how beautiful you look. Are people scared? Are people scared?
On the same day?
What?
On the same day, you think they will do both things, green card and citizenship?
No, I just said most likely they won't. They're going to do your citizenship interview and say your case is pending the I-751. Probably what's going to happen.
Okay. So they will take my interview, citizenship interview on that day? Still my case is pending?
Yes.
Okay. Then
maybe
they
you don't
will,
understand. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Okay.
Because I don't think you understand what I'm saying to you. So what I want you to do is actually listen to what I am saying. Okay? So what I am saying is you're going to go on your citizenship interview, and when you go on your citizenship interview, they are most likely, I mean, I don't know for sure, because I can't tell the future. I can only tell you what they've been doing in the past. They are most likely going to say to you, you have to wait on your I-751. We'll do your citizenship interview. Now, guess what? You have two cases pending. You have an I-751 pending, and you have your citizenship pending. What I would tell you to do, or what I would have told you to do, is what Abadir tells you to do every time he comes on my show, which is file a mandamus, which is a lawsuit against the government because they're delaying your life. They're not allowed to delay your life forever. They can delay it for a little bit, but not forever. Okay? So you file a mandamus when you have an approvable case, and within weeks, your case gets approved. And then you do your citizenship. Now, you haven't done it that way, so go on your interview. Maybe you pass and you become a citizen. I'm wrong. I hope so. But if not, then come see me for a mandamus.
Okay, so I have to go to the interview for now, right? That's
correct. And then when they tell you everything's pending, you come see me. And by the way, if they say, congratulations, you passed your citizenship, go for your swearing in, call me back on this show, and I'll be happy. I'll eat crow. I'm not always right. And I'll say, congratulations. I give all the power to you. You did it. Okay, but I don't think that's what's going to happen.
Okay, so, okay then, thank you. So I will go for interview and let me see what they tell me, okay?
Correct.
Okay then, thank you.
You're welcome. I think he understood about 10% of what I just said.
Jessica Kalimi said, Raymond has Brad repeating himself like how I have to repeat my commands to my 3-year-old twins.
Well, I think he's smarter than the 3-year-old twins.
100%.
And I'm sure that Jessica Kalimi's twins are brilliant.
100%.
I think he's a little nervous.
I think there's a lot of and when you're that nervous, I feel like people don't listen to what you're actually saying.
Correct.
Like
and
they
then,
get their question out and then they don't listen to what you're actually saying.
Exactly. And then they're listening and then they see my hands flailing. I'm going, listen, not. And then they get all crazy and they're like, I don't know what he's saying. All right, let's go to Kevin in Boston. Kevin,
hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. What's going on?
All right, I have a question for you. 2 questions, actually. My first question is, how often can I travel outside of the U.S. on my green card?
As much as you want, but you have to be physically in the United States more often than you are outside of the United States. So it's not the number of in and outs. It's the number of days you are out of the country, not the number of times you come in and out.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
So you can go. You can go. Where are you from, Kevin?
Barbados.
Okay. Literally, if you chose to, as a green card holder, you can fly to Barbados every Friday night after work, fly back to America Sunday night, go to work Monday through Friday, and do this for the rest of your life. You could literally do that, okay? I mean, it'll be expensive plane tickets, but you could do it because you're in the United States more than you're not, okay? So it has nothing to do with it. It's just the amount of time you're in the U.S.
Okay. So my next question is, I got my green card last year, my VAWA-based green card.
Okay.
Last year, I finalized my divorce May of this year. How soon could I remarry?
Did you...
And petition for my spouse in Barbados.
All right. Now, you got your VAWA last year, you said?
Yes.
Okay. And you're not a citizen yet?
No.
Okay. You can marry whenever you want. You can certainly file for your spouse whenever you want. There's only a bar to getting to filing if you got your green card through a bona fide marriage. You got it as an abused spouse. You can refile and get married whenever you want. You don't have to stay unmarried.
Okay,
If you got your green card through the regular processing and there was no abuse,
I got it through VAWA.
I understand that. I'm just giving you as an example. Then you would have to wait 5 years. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right.
All right, let's go to Shernette in the Bronx. Shernette.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, so my son at 14 years old, he took a knife with him to school because he was jumped, and I made a police report about it, and he said he was scared for his life. That's why he brought the knife to school. Anyway, they held him with it, and they sent us, I think, I'm not certain if it's a juvenile court or something or other. Now I want to file for his green card. Will that affect it?
It's family court. And I'm sure you're a citizen. I'm sure Child Protective Services came at some point and interviewed you and all of that. Oh, no. Okay.
No.
All right, good. Lucky. It's juvenile court. It's through family court. As long as it's through family court and it's not through the criminal court system, it is not a criminal record for him. Yes, you can file for him.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. And tell him don't bring knives to school. All right? You don't bring any weapons to school.
No,
that's like the dumbest thing in the world to do.
It's bad, but it's so bad because, well, a family member of mine brought Vicks to school and put it on the kids' eyes. That's what happens when you bully these kids, man. When you bully these kids, they'll come back at you.
Do not Vicks anyone in the eyes.
I never heard that before.
He was in the 3rd grade.
He Vicksed him?
Yes, because he was getting bullied.
Honestly, I get why a 3rd grader would think that Vicksing someone in the face would be the most painful thing to do in form of retaliation.
I remember Zachary. In 1st grade.
Oh no.
He was bullied.
Okay.
And then he went to school the next day, and and this kid, little Petey. Little Petey was bullying him.
With that type of name?
And little Petey, and he went after little Petey and literally picked him up and threw him over the cafeteria, and then the cafeteria,
like
little
the
table.
buffet line?
Not the buffet line, like little tables that they sit
Oh,
in.
yeah.
Right, all the food went flying.
Oh.
Right, and I remember the only time he ever had to serve detention as a 1st grader.
As a 1st grader.
But you want to know what? Little Petey never bothered him again.
I was gonna say, were you proud as a parent, or were you like, violence is bad? Like, how do you reply to
I think
that?
secretly he was probably proud, but he probably told him, can't do that.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. Violence is never the answer, but give it here, pal.
All right, yeah. Now, where's that little Petey? All right, let's go to Simone, and that's a true story. Simone in Durham, North Carolina.
Hi.
How are you? How you doing?
I'm okay. My question is, I am up to renew my green card next month.
The 2 or 10 year? The 2 or 10 year?
Huh?
The 2 year or the 10 year?
Oh, the 10 year.
Okay.
And my question is, I am on Medicaid, So I want to know if that's going to be a problem. I was on food stamps also, but I cut that off.
No, go renew. There's no law that says you can't renew your green card because you're on Medicaid.
Okay, I was a little worried about that because I know I was hearing about the,
Don't worry about what you hear. Just listen to me. You're fine.
Okay, and what about the taxes? Do they ask you to bring the prior year tax return?
No, only for your citizenship.
Okay. All right, so don't worry about the benefits.
They're not going to ask you for taxes. Yes, you have to worry about taxes. Yes, you have to file taxes if you work. But if you're asking me specifically, when I renew my green card, will anybody ask to look at a tax return? The answer is no.
Okay. So should I cut off my Medicaid?
No, you need it.
Okay. All right.
Okay? Unless you don't need it, then cut it off. But if you need it, you're entitled to it.
Okay. All
right.
All right. Thank you so much. I feel so much better.
Good. Thank you. I strive to make people feel better.
That's always a good response.
I strive to make people feel better.
Oh.
Yes. On my gravestone, it will say,
God,
here lies Brad Bernstein. Striving to make people feel better. Kim, I turned 50 this year.
You did. What has that done to you and just your all-around being and body, Brad?
I don't know. I turned 50 this year, Kim. Thinking about my gravestone now already.
I understand. It really makes you face your mortality.
Right. You know what's very funny? I watched the show last night. And I couldn't sleep last night. I had a lot of coffee before the show. So I was up at 1 a.m. watching the show last night. And Yonathan says to me, why do you keep saying, Yonathan, right? So I said today to myself, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to do a Kim. I go, Kim.
And you know what? I was literally about to say, I'm here.
No, because you said yesterday. Right. So I said to myself, I'm going to say all day long, Kim. All right, let's go to Yahia in Berkeley, California. Yahia.
Hi,
How you
Brett.
doing?
Can you hear me?
Good. What's going on?
Hi. Good to hear from you. I will have 2 separate questions, if you don't mind. I will be very quick and specific.
Sure.
So the first one will be, I sponsored my parents, so they already have their green cards. But I listened to one of the conversations with one of the audiences here that you have to spend most of the time in the U.S. rather than
Correct.
outside. Correct. Now, for my parents' case, at least for now, this is not going to be the case. I mean, they can do 3 months here, 4 months over there, come back.
So then let me tell you what you do. Okay, if you want to sponsor them and they want to get a green card, there's something called a re-entry permit. It's done on an I-131. It's done after they physically come here. It has to be filed when they are physically here. And you give a good, reasonable excuse why they can't live in the United States on a permanent basis for the next 3 years, but also show that within 3 years they will be able to live permanently in the United States, whether it's a medical reason, a job, education, whatever it may be, okay? And you fill it out, you submit it while they're here, then they leave, then they can come back and take a fingerprint, then they can leave again, and the government will mail them a re-entry permit in another country, and it's good to stay out for 3 years without losing your green card.
Is it 2 years or 3?
Three. And generally they even allow you, with a good excuse, to renew it for a second time up to 6.
Okay, so you can renew it for 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. Did you say that?
I have personally renewed it 3 times for 9 years. I've heard recently they'll do up to 6. Maybe they'll do 9, but I've personally done, not me because I'm an American citizen, but for my clients, I've done it for up to 9 years without a problem in the past. But I think probably now they'll probably do 6.
All right, so we can do technically 3 forms, like I-131, like maybe 3. That's very reasonable. I can do 3 times.
Two times would be reasonable, maybe 3.
Maybe 3. 3 very extreme. Okay. Right. I do have another question for you, which is separate from that.
What?
I'm in the process, basically, of adopting my nephew from overseas.
Right.
When they come here, how long does it take them to receive a passport? Since I am a U.S. citizen.
They would become automatic U.S. citizens as soon as they come here, and they're residing with you as your child. As long as they're under 18.
Okay, so basically within 3 months, maybe at the most. Like I know there is certain procedures that have to be done through the court.
If you're doing an adoption, let's get this right. What country are you adopting, first of all?
Algeria, sir. Algeria. ALG.
Algeria.
North Africa.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
My guess is, and I don't know enough about Algeria, although I was on the border of Algeria because I was in the desert of Morocco and I was looking at the border of Algeria, but I've never actually been to Algeria. I heard Tunis is really pretty, but I've never been. But I don't know if Algeria has signed on to the Hague Convention. My guess is now no.
No.
Okay. All right. So
No.
then, okay, in order for you to bring a child over from Algeria to a country that is not a signature of the Hague Convention, you can only bring a child over to adopt as an orphan, meaning there's no mother, there's no father. If there is a mother and a father that exists, then, you know, there are parents who abandon children. You would have to prove these children have been abandoned. And then you have to strip the parents of their parental rights in Algeria. You have to do a pre-adoption here in the U.S. You say, hey, Algeria stripped these parents of their parental rights. They're terrible parents. They abandoned the kids. Here's the documentation. And then you go to the judge here in America and say, I'm a good father. Look, I had a social worker come. Everything's wonderful in my house, a beautiful home. And they'll give you what's called the pre-adoption. Then you do an orphan petition to bring the children over to America. You don't do the adoption in Algeria. If you do the adoption in Algeria, they'll never come because the parents will sign a consent, and that's not an orphan. Okay? And then
So you have to strip the parents from the parenting rights.
of their
That's what it is.
parenting rights, correct.
Yeah.
Then bring the child over as an orphan petition here in the United States, do the adoption in America, and then when the adoption's completed, that's when they become a U.S. citizen.
Oh yeah, I will have to follow that with you
Yes.
later on.
Yes.
And before I let you go, 10 seconds here. Are they gonna? Is the kid gonna have the freedom of traveling back and forth without any problem?
Yes.
Like anybody else?
Yes.
So they can stay here as much as they want. They
Yes,
can
because,
go over there as much as they want.
because they're U.S. citizens.
Okay, thank you, boss. I appreciate it.
Okay.
I'll see you again.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, let's go to Anthony in Queens. Anthony,
Yes, hi.
how are you?
Good. Yes, I have a pending adjustment status back to November 2018.
Right.
But finally, I got the interview notice next month. And this is normal. I don't receive anything yet, like a working permit or advance parole.
Yeah, well, it sometimes happens that you get your green card interview before you get your work permit. So hopefully you go on your interview, you get your green card, and you don't have to worry about your work permit because your green card is your work permit.
Okay, one more thing. And my mom petitioned me, and then he has a Medicare right now.
Medicare or Medicaid?
Medicaid.
Medicaid could be problematic because your mother can't support herself because she needs to get medical. What kind of Medicaid does she have? Everybody gets that confused. What does she actually have?
He has a Medicaid right now because he says over 65 years old.
That's
He
Medicaid.
converted
Okay,
to Medicaid.
all right. So there it is. It's Medicare. Over 65 is Medicare. Everyone's entitled to it, including me. Once I reach 65, I'm not there yet.
I was like, what?
I'm not there yet. Although I could apply for an AARP card.
Which you should. Those are
I'm
great
not doing that.
deals.
No way. So what I think you need to do, okay, because you're getting an interview, you're confused, and let me explain something to you. You know, they don't play around anymore. You get denied, you're getting in deportation. You're in Queens. Make an appointment to come see me. Let's make sure you're all set, okay? So hold on, all right? Because you'll go on the interview and they'll ask, excuse me, does your mother take Medicaid? And you'll say, yes. Okay, denied. And it's not Medicaid, it's Medicare. All right.
So, what about they have a co-sponsor with it?
That's wonderful you have a co-sponsor. Let's make sure the co-sponsor is a good co-sponsor. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hold on. You need help. He needs help, Anthony. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to Kenrick in Clearwater, Florida. Kenrick.
Hello?
How are you?
Good.
What's going on?
Just all of a sudden your voice get very low.
Okay. You sound like you're in a submarine, so we're even.
Oh, it's raining here. It's raining.
It's raining. That's why. Okay. All right. What's going on, Kenrick? I'm only kidding. What's going on?
So I have a few questions.
What?
So the first one is, that I have a 2-year conditional green card,
right,
which expire in January,
right,
and I was told that it's best to renew it, list the condition within 3 months before expiration.
correct.
All right. So my question is that my wife sometimes she and I are ups and down in arguments and all kind of things like that, you know. And she was working at this place where she didn't like working there anymore, and she get a job that allow her to work out of state.
All right,
And
so
she
this is the
she
problem,
a travel
Kenrick.
job.
Kenrick, this is the problem. Okay.
Yeah.
The government wants to know whether or not you and your wife live together. That's how they look at it. Okay. If you live in the same house, it's a good marriage. If you don't live in the same house, it's not a good marriage. If you have an economic relationship, it's a good marriage. If you don't have an economic relationship, it's not a good marriage. It's blinders, like a horse in a horse race. Okay, they don't look at everything. They don't look at, oh, my wife found a better job out of state. We see each other on weekends. It's an economic situation. You know, a lot of couples do that, but immigration's like blinders, like this. Okay, you got to live together, and you got to have an economic relationship. And if you and your wife are having problems, you don't want to have a situation where 90 days beforehand you're in one of those down periods. You're fighting, you're screaming at each other. She refuses to sign paperwork. Now what are you going to do? Okay, so you got to do two things: work it out with your wife that you live together, and work it out with your wife that you don't fight. Because otherwise, I'm going to tell you're going to have a problem. And I don't want to break up marriages. I'm not in the business of breaking up marriages. All right, I already had a marriage that broke up. It's miserable to break up a marriage. Okay, but if you're not living together and you're fighting, what the law says is if you are divorced and you can prove you did live together for a period of time, then you can get your green card without her. Those are your choices.
All right. So it's a few issues. So right now, she and I are on very, very good terms. Yes, as I said, sometimes we're ups and sometimes we're down.
Right.
Yes, and the job able her to come back for a while.
You got to figure out the job thing. You got to figure it out, and you got to live together.
You know. So what I'm saying, what if when the interview, because I think I may have a second interview, and if she could send a video showing that we are in good terms and so forth, but she just happened to be out of state at the time.
Kenrick.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't understand. I even had hand signals for you. Okay. If you don't live with your wife, if you don't have an economic relationship with your wife, immigration will say it's not a good marriage. Go tell it to the judge. You're in deportation.
Oh.
Period. End of story. Drop the mic. Got it?
Yeah.
So,
all right,
so you got to figure it out.
All right, so there are some of the time when she and I are in arguments and so forth. And
all right, Tammy Ross is saying exactly it. She's going, boy, it's a very sticky in some of these situations. It's sticky in these situations. I can't tell you how to live your life. All I can tell you is this is what the law says. So what I told you before, you got two choices. Figure out how to not to fight and figure out how to live together, or end the marriage. That's it. You want to get a green card? That's the cold hard facts.
So I might ask this straight question. So, as I said, some of the time when we are in an argument and so forth, and she's saying certain things, and I have voice note of her what she's saying, and there are times when she stay out all night and stuff like that, and then you can. Would those be evidence?
Everything is evidence. You can file as a battered spouse and not get a divorce. It's just harder to prove. Okay.
I can file as what?
There are 4 ways to remove the conditions. You and your wife show up and you prove you live together and have an economic relationship. You show up alone. I'm divorced, but I did live with her for a period of time. Here's the proof. You show up alone. I did live with her. I don't live with her anymore because she abused me. You show up alone, not with her. I did live with her, and there would be some sort of medical problem if I go home, that I must stay here in America. Those are your options. Okay? You need to know more? Have a consultation. Hold on.
All
You got to have a consultation at this point. We'll go. Okay. All right. We're splitting hairs here. Let's go to Mavis in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Mavis.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, and
What's
you?
going on? By the way, Willie L. Williams. Excuse me 1 second. Willie L. Williams bringing back What Sugar.
What sugar?
Boy, that is. Oh, that's
Nina.
before you, Yonathan.
I remember it.
Yeah. Okay, Mavis. What's going on?
So I filed my adjustment of status last year, and I just had an interview interview last week, and the officer did not ask of my medical records, and whilst I was filing, I didn't also send any medical records. So I was expecting him to ask of the medical records, and he never did. I also forgot about it. When I got home, I realized it's still with me. I'm asking how I have to get it to them. I tried.
I think at this point you got to wait for them to ask for it.
Okay.
All right.
Is that not going to delay my...
Of course it will.
Okay.
It's unfortunate. I mean, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but yeah, the officer's going to look at the file and say, "Oh, I'm ready to approve it." Oh, you don't have the medical records. Now I got to write her a letter. I got to send it to her. Then she's got to send it back to me. And maybe when I get a chance in another 90, 120 days, I'll take a look at the file again. So yeah, you delayed it.
Okay, so I tried calling
you can call to your heart's content. What you need to do, what you need to do, is you have to wait for the officer to write you for it, and then you will respond to that letter. Unfortunately, that's what it is.
Okay.
All right, hang in there.
Okay.
Hang in there. All right, let's go to Bernice in Mexico. Bernice. Bernice in Mexico. You waited 15 minutes to speak to me.
Hi.
Hi, Bernice.
Hi, how are you? I want to say thank you for your show. I started watching it and I really like it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. What can I do to help?
I'm just calling because I have a question. My spouse has a conviction for a controlled substance. He had to leave the country 6 years ago under voluntary departure. If he applies for clemency from a governor, would that help him get a green card? We're working on getting the conviction vacated.
Conviction vacated is much better than clemency from the governor. On a drug conviction, they do not have to accept a pardon. They could still bar him. For vacator, they must accept the vacator, which is different than expungement. Work on the vacator first.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. That was my main question.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Woo!
Yeah. That was a
doozy. That was a doozy. Meanwhile, we had a client, Sarah. She felt like she was drowning in her immigration issues. And before we stepped in here at Spar and Bernstein, we gave she didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
We gave her a life raft. And once she got her green card through us, and once her date for citizenship was set, she invited us to come and watch her citizenship ceremony.
Oh.
But we weren't allowed inside. They barred us at the end.
Right.
But we still interviewed her outside. Let's watch.
How long is this?
3 minutes.
My name's Joseph.
My name's Sarah.
Thanks to the law firm of Spar and Bernstein, we are here today so that we can go through my wife's citizenship ceremony to become an American citizen.
I'm so excited. I'm from original country, Jordan. I came to America 2004. In the beginning of my process, the problem threw me in an ocean.
I knew when those letters started showing up, we needed a lawyer. When they say remove, that means we're taking you out. It affected us both deeply. My wife later on saw a commercial for the firm of Spar and Bernstein. And I said, what have we got to lose?
Bernstein, he helps me a lot. I recommended everyone. They're not a business, they are family. They care about you, they care about your case, they care about your problem. They don't leave you until when your problem solved.
4 years later, The nightmare we were going through at the time is now over.
I will recommend it, Spar, Bernstein, for everybody. When I was a teenager, I have a dream, to come to United States, and this dream grow with me. And one day my mother, when she passed away, she said, your dream will become truth one day. It's her spirit. I felt she's around me. I can live my dream in a great country without any interruption. A freedom to do anything you want. Like me, I got my medical license and I'm working. This is America, a great country.
Prior successful results do not guarantee similar outcome.
Okay. That was a blast from the past.
Blast from the past.
Wow.
I ain't seen that.
All right. So let's go do social media check-in. All right, what do we got?
Radi said, this is Radi from Nepal. My case was approved on January 8th of 2019 and was sent to NVC for visa processing on January 18th. I did receive the letter saying my process was stopped due to an overflow of visas in the EB1 category for sports. You said it would take about 120 days. My lawyer said it will come this or next month. I've also filed for my wife, daughter, and son. Why is it taking so long?
Ask your lawyer. I don't know.
And he's a golf instructor. You can
Right.
get an EB1 being.
You could be the best golf instructor in the world.
Okay.
Or one of the top golf instructors in the world. Everything is taking long. You just got to ask Donald Trump or your lawyer. I didn't handle the case, so I can only give you my best guess on how long it will be.
Right.
I don't have. Oh, I do have
you
a
do
crystal
have-
ball.
Why?
Why would this golf instructor's visa take so long at the National Visa Center? On a case I never handled, I don't know anything about, and I give the guy the best efforts
I
to
think
give him my best guess on how long it will take without knowing anything about him or his case.
I think it's only yes or no questions. But
Well, let's see.
It is
Maybe.
only yes or no questions.
It says.
That's a long question.
It says, Brad.
Okay.
Brad, you've asked a very long question. I have a very good answer. This Magic 8 Ball is amazing.
Wow,
right?
yeah, this is a really
This is a magical.
Yes. And it says, every case rests on its own merits, and unless, Brad, you handle it yourself, you don't know for sure what's going on, you can only give your best guess, gotta have him ask his own lawyer.
That's a long.
I can't believe this would say that.
That's unbelievable that that's
First
such-
time it's ever said that.
so
Yes.
specific.
Very specific.
Normally it's like ask again.
Yes.
Or,
No. It was very, very specific. Somebody did something to that Magic 8 Ball.
Magical, that
Yes.
8 ball. All right, Vandy Boo Nisbeth saying, asking for a friend. She got married at a courthouse and didn't have any pictures of the ceremony. When she goes to the interview, will that be a problem?
No, I mean, it's, have other pictures from other parts of your life. It's fine.
Chad says, if I have a felony, why does the immigration office deny my wife a green card solely on my background?
If you have a felony for sex abuse of a minor, there's the Adam Walsh Act that prevents your wife from getting a green card if her life may be in danger in your home. Other than that, your felony has nothing to do with your wife getting a green card.
All right, Nayar saying USCIS sent adjustment of status interview notice, but I later lost it. The interview is set for July 25th. How do I go about getting another notice?
Well, you're going to have trouble getting in the building. You could always go online and ask them to send you another notice, but you may not get it by July 25th. You're just going to have to go. Maybe also you can maybe print something out on the internet. There's something there that says you have an interview, but you won't have the notice, unfortunately. And just have to try to get in the building, and hopefully they have your name there.
Lexi says, I'm in the F1 category, married with a U.S. citizen, but our marriage is unfortunately falling apart. I can't go forward with the interview anymore. I understand that I might have to leave if I'm getting a divorce, but this is hard for me since I still have parents here who are permanent residents. Is there any way for them to help me to stay, or could they bring me back here in the future? And would the denial of my I-485 due to the divorce prevent me from ever coming back?
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
First of all, your permanent resident parents can't file for you because you're married. 2, you could always go home. You have a 10-year bar. Your parents get a divorce. Your parents can file for you. You'll be back in 10 years. Or you can stay here and get divorced and fall in love again.
All right. We have one saying, I'm a green card resident.
By the way, I'm just laughing. Anna can't. I apologize, Yonathan.
Mm-hmm.
Anna K. Moxham says that Magic 8 Ball is very well rested. That's
Okay.
why. That's why.
That's so well rested that you forgot you had it.
That's right. I did.
Okay, I'm a green card resident through marriage. Did I-751 and got the extension. My problem, however, is my spouse filed for my minor kids. However, we separated again 2 months ago. Still married, but he's asking for a divorce. We already got approval notices for the kids and waiting the NVC. He's pushing for this divorce. What happens to my kids and what happens to my extension?
What is her extension? What's her issue? She has a 2-year green card?
She's a green card resident through marriage and did the I-751 extension.
So, A, if you get divorced and you can prove that it was a real marriage, you just file for a waiver of the joint filing, you'll still get a green card. As far as your kids are concerned, you want to tell the truth that you got a divorce, but if they will continue the case provided your ex-husband wants to continue it, and provided he can prove that he has an independent relationship with your children.
We've got our following question from Chorok, and this is a doozy, Brad. Okay. I've been to the U.S. since 2017 as a Fulbright scholar with a J1 visa for 1 year that split into 2 periods, 9 months, and 3 months.
Do I need to take a pen out?
Look,
notes?
I'm looking at
Because Yonathan's smiling. I'm seeing Yonathan smiling. I'm like, maybe I need to take notes on this one.
Look at this.
Oh my God.
You should be very familiar with this question, Brad, as it was slid into your DMs
But I
on
didn't
Instagram.
read it. Okay, so let's get it out.
A novel.
Okay. All right. So read me chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
I was born.
Okay.
Mom and Dad met.
Yes.
So actually, I've been to the U.S. in 2017 as a Fulbright scholar with a J1 visa for 1
Smart
year.
guy. Fulbright scholar.
Right.
Smarter than me.
Smarter than all of us.
I never got a
probably.
Fulbright scholarship.
I would have. No. I'm very far away from
Y'all
a
probably don't want to interrupt because this is a long
All
question.
right, keep going.
Thank you.
Chapter 2.
For 1 year, that
He
was
got his
split-
Fulbright
Oh my God, you're
scholarship.
killing me, man. You're
Chapter
killing
2.
me. So, arrived with a J1 visa that was split into 2 periods, 9 months and 3 months for a year.
Got it. Chapter 3.
And he lived at a different address each time. Now he's outside the U.S. He's finished his 2-year home country requirement and got married to a permanent resident and filed a petition on behalf of him June 2019. Is the petition that I was asked to give the addresses where I lived outside the U.S. and where I lived in the U.S. In the petition, I was asked to give all those addresses, but I only mentioned the address where I stayed for the first 9 months and completely forgot about the other address where I was there for 3 months. What do you think I should do about it?
I think you should not worry. Then get your green card approved, and you'll fix it at the National Visa Center.
And how long do you think it's actually going to take for my petition to be approved and then my green card? My husband is naturalizing in July.
Assuming he becomes a citizen, you upgrade it. Hopefully, you'll be here by next July.
All right.
See, that wasn't so bad.
Not so bad.
There was a lot more.
No, it's just the bottom.
Oh.
There you
go. All right. Ike's Barbell saying, when can I extend my EAD? It will expire in December.
90 days before.
Isaiah said, I was hoping, I got caught, my son, I'm assuming he got caught shoplifting as an underage when he was 18 by an undercover cop, and they just brought him to the back room, had his parents call, and he's going to do community service. And he's banned from the mall for a year.
Ooh.
He's wondering, how does that affect the asylum case? And also, is that going to be on his record, and would it affect job opportunities?
It's on his record. He's not underage. He's 18. So he's an adult. And assuming it's a petty offense, It won't affect his asylum case, but it will be on his record for life.
It doesn't sound like he was charged. Like, it doesn't sound like the police
It-
was ever called. It said that they took him to the back room and his parents were called.
Then
then
there's
it's
no
not
record.
on his record.
Then there's no record then.
Right. Just if the cops were called, would there be a record, right?
Correct.
That's happened to me when I was a kid. Listen, we all been there. We all been there.
Yonathan had a
Yonathan!
rough childhood.
Yonathan,
We all
I'm
been
shocked.
there. We have
Yonathan,
all
I am shocked.
been there.
I
12 years
I
old.
spoke to your mother. She said you were an angel. I can't believe this. She said my yo-yo is an angel.
No, he's out here vixing people and shit.
That was my younger brother. That was my younger brother. That wasn't me.
Yeah, we all know the I have a friend, yeah.
All right, let's do 4 more questions, and we got to move on.
Okay.
All right, Chinal Luchin saying, "Good day. I follow your page and watch your videos. This
Okay,
is on
great.
Instagram, so thank you for that."
Thank you.
And she says, "Thanks for educating us." My question is, I'm married to a U.S. resident since June 2019, and I overstayed my B1B2 visa 1 year and 4 months now. Will I be able to adjust my status, or should I wait until he becomes a citizen?
Wait until he becomes a citizen.
Chino says, my I-130 was denied and I filed an appeal. Can I withdraw the appeal and reapply?
I think yes, and it's a motion to reopen, and yes, you can. And I will know you when you come see me, because you will be wearing chinos.
Chinos. All right, Isha Sisse saying, after biometric, how long does it take to receive an EAD card?
About 6 months from the time you file. It's not from the biometric.
Ben Ayanda said, how long does it take for USCIS to respond to the RFE once you've replied?
At least 120 days.
There we go.
All right, so last Friday, over 800 Lights for Liberty vigils was organized all over the world to protest Donald Trump's hardline immigration policies that include family separation and the unsanitary and overcrowded conditions that we've been talking about, and that's been all over the news. Belgium Kim went to the Lights for Liberty Global Vigil right here in downtown Manhattan.
They did.
Let's check it out.
Hey Brad Squad, it's Belgium Kim, and today I am at the Lights for Liberty Global Vigil, taking place in over 800 cities spanning 5 continents. Immigration activists, protesters, and immigrants will be speaking out against Trump's immigration policies and the conditions inside detention centers all over the country. A coalition that started just weeks ago, Lights for Liberty has partnered with organizations all over the world to create one of the biggest movement surrounding the immigration issue. The group's list of demands are long and include things like the end of detention centers, the abolition of family detention and family separation policies. We are going to be here all night taking you inside the vigil and talking to protesters and participants who have something to say about what's going on at our southern border. Hey Brad Squad, I'm here joined by Renee Goddess and Cole. Hi everybody.
Hello. Hey, how you doing?
Thank you so much for joining us. What are you guys doing here this evening?
I am in town from Maine doing a residency with the Urban Bushwomen for the next 10 days, and at the end of our session today they asked us as participants to be here if we felt it was something we could support.
Awesome. What kinds of changes are you hoping to see come out of this global movement?
As someone who's been in this country giving my hard-earned tax dollars and can't vote, and the issues I have as an immigrant, I would like to be seen and recognized for the work I do in this country to make this place a better place.
What kinds of actions can people at home take?
I think that people at home should be giving to POC-led organizations that are in the fight, and that there are lots of organizations like the ACLU that exist that are like doing great work, but I think that not enough Black-led, POC-led organizations are getting the funding they need to be in this conversation, in this fight, in this battle.
I'm here with Tashawn and Raquel. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm going to start over here. Raquel, tell me, why are you here and what do you do?
I'm here because what's going on at the border is unconscionable. Anyone with a soul, anyone with a conscience could not possibly want to do that to anyone, much less to children who are vulnerable and who look to adults to protect them. This is immoral and it's unjust. We are a country of immigrants.
Brad Squad, I am here with our youngest Brad Show Live interviewee ever, and I'm going to let her introduce herself because I don't feel like I need to. What's your name?
Lily Bongiorno.
Now, Lily, what are you doing here today at the Lights for Liberty Vigil?
Well, I'm just trying to defend my kind and trying to get rid of Trump.
What bothers you specifically about what's going on in the country right now?
Well, Trump and the government is like people, they're just like putting people that are like trying to go into this country and be free. They're putting them into like things that people call camps, technically jail, and they're like not giving them food, like medicine.
And so what are you hoping comes out of a rally and a vigil like this today?
I don't care if it's a girl or a boy. I just hope that someone just comes in and just like turn this place better.
And what country were you born in?
Ethiopia.
You were born in Ethiopia? So now where do you live?
I live in New York City. And if it was Trump was like president during the time, I would have been in one of these camps.
Hey everybody, I'm here with Jeremy and Hattie. So tell me a little bit about what a trauma therapist does and how that relates to this situation going on at our southern borders right now.
Sure. So we are both clinical social workers, and we specialized in trauma, both individual and cultural. And with the detention concentration camps at the border, it is a tremendous amount of trauma on both the adults and the children who are imprisoned there. You know, we're talking about impacts on their neurological development, on their physiological development that are going to really be impacting them for years, if not decades.
It'll ripple through generations, and that's what it does.
Yeah, their attachment systems get activated. They don't have a parent or other safe caretaker to really help soothe them. They stay in a heightened state of alert. They have problems eating, problems sleeping.
One of the things that is so important here is that we understand that what is happening in this nation now is being done so that those with privilege can maintain it. And it is one of the reasons why those of us who have it must leverage it with everything we've got right now. So I will tell you that you must be willing to sacrifice your privilege. Because to do otherwise right now is to stand in allegiance with atrocity.
What most saddens, frustrates, or angers you about the immigration rhetoric in this country right now?
That there is immigration rhetoric. I mean, this should be a no-brainer. I mean, this is the Statue of Liberty beckons and welcomes all immigrants. So, I mean, because they're brown and coming up from the border.
Mostly it's about treating them as other people, as an other that we can do things to, and they're unaffected by these things. It's like we're all human beings. We all are affected by the same things. You know, if you separate a child from a mother, it doesn't matter if you are what race you are, what ethnicity, anything, where you're from, that's going to damage a child. And that's the worst part, I think.
I feel my community in this, sorry. But it's really hard to watch.
Do you feel like it's tougher because it's your community and you feel that so personally?
I feel like it's tough regardless of it being Latin. I think it's something that any immigrant going through or knowing of having that personal connection is just really hard to hear. But it's sad, regardless where they come from, to hear anyone being detained, especially with the history of this country and how they've oppressed people of color through its whole entire birth of this nation. It's just really hard to watch it still happening today.
Okay, Brad Squad, we have lit all of our candles. We spoke to attendees from all walks of life who said that enough is enough. Thank you so much for sticking around, Brad Squad. Until next time, see you.
All right, Belgium Kim, you said that was your favorite interview.
That little girl who, that was one of my favorite events that I've covered, but that little girl, she was 7 years old. She was a refugee from Ethiopia. Her birth mother had passed away and a woman had adopted her here in the U.S. It was so powerful, and she knew so clearly what the world would be like had she not made it to America. Yeah, right. So no, it was really powerful and amazing.
All right, Julian, it's time for Speed Round, where I will attempt to answer 16 of your social media questions in 4 minutes. Now, I know we did not get to a lot of your questions today, so I apologize. We were talking for a few seconds before we came back on live, and I promise you that we will make every effort to try to answer as many of them as we can tomorrow. So please tune in tomorrow. In the meantime, give us 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Let me turn my chair.
Here we go. Here we go.
Blindfold me. I never got the
You
blindfold.
don't need to be blindfolded.
I need to be blindfolded.
That doesn't stop your brain in any way, Brad.
I just think it looks really more dramatic.
If anything, like hang you upside down and like wrap you
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
and
like some Houdini thing, you know, like some Houdini thing, and like I'm answering immigration questions and getting out of it.
I actually like that idea.
I don't like the idea of me hanging upside down though.
Why does that also make sense? No one has claimed that Brad is an escape artist of any kind.
What about you dunk me in like, you know, the dunk tank, you know, and I have to like get out, but then you wouldn't be able to hear. What did Brad just say? He sounds like he's underwater.
So we're gonna build a dunk tank in the back.
That's what imagine. Oh, can you imagine we do a dunk tank and if I don't do it?
Well,
and I go in.
That I do like.
That would be that. Production meeting.
This I like.
All right, Julian, get us a dunk tank for tomorrow.
Amazon.com. It's Prime
Can you imagine about a dunk tank? I'm like, please, Jonathan, ask the question already.
I might go a little slower.
All right. Ready?
Ready. I was looking up dunk tanks on Amazon.
She really is looking it up.
All right.
It's doable, Brad. It's doable. Our first question is from Crystal. I've got a question. How long does a Form I-797 process after a denial due to insufficient evidence? I'm from West Virginia.
120 days.
Melissa Robinson says, how long do you have to wait after you get a green card from your parent to file for citizenship?
5 years.
Pretty Mon Love said, will USCIS accept my I-45 application with a P.O. box as my address if I don't have a physical address? And if so, will they send me an MIE?
I don't know what an MIE is, but yes, the RFE, but they'll accept your application.
Jermaine says, is there an age limitation to file for your siblings?
No.
Derek said, my 10-year green card has expired since March of 2019 and I lost track. I haven't filed taxes in 2 years. Will that affect my renewal online and will the current ICE raids affect me?
Yes, and you have to give a very good excuse why you're filing late because you are out of status illegal, and when you file, if you don't have a good excuse, they're going to put you in deportation.
Mike says, can you get deported without knowing passport or documents?
You can get deported for any reason.
El Presidente said, I know my wife from 2015 came on a K-1, got married in 2017. I got my 2-year green card in 2018, 2 months after our son was born. She started getting physical with me, and I've now left her. She filed for divorce. What do I do?
File to remove the conditions based on a bona fide marriage. You have a child together and a divorce. It sounds pretty straightforward.
Sandy says 2014 arrested, 2015 disposition, A and BDW, C-CWOF with no condition, and an A and B guilty file. And probation 2017, I removed the condition on my 2-year green card. I would like to apply for my U.S. citizenship. Got my green card 2014 through marriage, removed condition, and got green card in May 2017. Late due to be fighting with USCIS because of conviction.
I don't know what ABDND 221 is. Bring your disposition in and we'll figure it out.
Gail Henry said, my husband entered with an RJ1 visa with no residence restriction. Can he adjust his status for a green card?
Yes.
How many months or years for a person who marries a U.S. citizen, American citizen, to get their green card?
It depends where you are, what state you are, what country you are. It could be anywhere from 6 months to 3 years.
Sammy said, I've got 2 questions. I just returned back to the U.S. from Jamaica on my advanced parole, and I checked my I-94 after I returned, and my class of admission, and it says, my class of admission, day DA. I'm in Maryland. What does that mean? Also, it's showing that until next year. What happens when the time expires?
What did he come back on?
The I-94 after he returned, and it says he's DA.
DA.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
And my class of admission day.
Is day?
Day.
Day?
Day, DA.
I don't know what DA means.
All right, Sweet X says, my friend in the U.S. husband wants to adjust her status. However, he is now filing his taxes from 2015, so they got married at the end of 2018. Can he put her on his 2018 taxes?
Yeah, so you have to file a joint tax return for every year you're married. So if you got married December 31st, 2018, you got to file a joint tax return for that year.
Okay, you think it'll be safe for her to do that before filing for her adjustment?
Yes.
Mike says, can you travel when you've got a pending case? And if you change your status with marriage, how long will your work permit take to come out?
6 months, and you can travel in the United States. You can travel out with it in advance parole.
And we're Princess saying, I need to know what to file for my 10-year-old daughter now that I received my 10-year green card through marriage.
An I-130 visa petition.
Kadeen said, I received a notice saying that they are ready to schedule my I-485 for an interview, but I haven't received the work permit as of yet. Should I be worried? My priority date is in January of this year.
No, because you may not get scheduled for an interview for another 9-10 months. You should get your work permit within 6 months of filing.
Binta says, I filed a VAWA 2 weeks before my interview date. Didn't get the interview, but I got to the interview center to state I filed a VAWA. Yesterday, I got a mail saying I was denied. What do I do now?
Refile, come see me.
Stop! Stop!
Yes!
I didn't blow up this time.
MacGyver's over here.
I didn't blow up this time.
My goodness.
Oh, my God.
Right. I know we didn't get to a lot of questions. Why don't we answer 5 more quickly? All right, to try to help as many people as we can before we say goodbye.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, we had Joss who said, my visiting visa is expired 2 years ago. Could I marry an American citizen and get my green card through them now?
Absolutely.
Scarlet Knight says, if previously filed CR1 that went wrong, how hard will the K1 be if I filed right after the divorce?
The K1?
Yes.
As long, I don't know what went wrong means. If there was a bogus marriage, you're going to have a big problem. But you're allowed to fall in love, out of love, and in love again. So it sounds like they were married. Person was married, filed a visa petition, went wrong. Right. I don't know what went wrong, but they didn't get the green card.
Right.
Now divorced, and now they're going to try again through a fiancé visa. I got to know what went wrong the first time.
Okay. Rudra said, can I travel to India with my advanced parole if I overstayed my J1?
Yes.
Dari has a follow-up question. During the U.S. consulate interview, maybe, since I should not interrupt the CO, I remember, to ask if I can provide proof of serving the 10-year bar, is it guaranteed the CO would ask for proof or just assume I haven't served it and deny?
They're going to talk to you about whatever issue you have to deny you. So just be prepared. You answer the questions. If you start interrupting the counsel officer, it's going to come off as rude, and they're going to get annoyed, and they're going to take it out on you. So just sit there and answer the questions, and if you have a problem, call me after.
So if they don't ask it, because they're asking, is it guaranteed that the CO will ask for proof?
After everything is done, and it hasn't been asked, and the counsel officer says, okay, you're done, you can say,
that's when you
by the way, I just want you to know I served my 10 years you didn't ask about.
Right.
But don't hi, how are you? My name is Jim. And they say, okay, so when were you born? I was born January. Stop! I want to tell you about my 10-year bar.
Right.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Okay, because I think that's what they're asking.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And one final one from Sebastian Z, who says, if the applicant is in the U.S. and submitted the I-130 but did not send the I-485 with it, could he still send it years later?
The what?
He sent the I-130 but didn't send the I-485, and now he's wondering, can you send the I-485 years later?
Who filed for who?
We don't know.
I don't know. I-130 could be by a brother from 30 years ago.
In which you have time.
I don't know.
Right.
I have no idea. I need to know a lot more information than that. Don't just randomly start sending forms.
Right, don't do that.
All right, Belgium Kim, Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias. Comments of the day.
All right, everybody. Our first comment of the day comes from Tracy Lacey saying, continue doing a wonderful job, Brad, helping real people with real information. No fake news.
Yeah, I like that. Yes.
No fake news.
No fake news zone.
No fake news zone. That's
I don't
weird.
like that. That's weird.
No fake news zone?
Take that back.
Take it back?
No.
We'll think of something else.
Yeah, we'll think of something else. All right, sometimes I'm not always good, all right? So that was a clunker. That was a clunker.
It doesn't happen too often, though.
That was a clunker.
Carol Anderson, the Tiger, said, my American dream is to bless Brad and let him continue immigration for a long time. He is the best lawyer ever in the world, so come see him. He is that great.
Absolutely.
Wow. I can't say anything nicer. Thank you very much.
No, I can't. There it is.
Just sitting back, taking it all in.
I like that. Bring it on. Bring it on.
This one is an interesting one. Anna K. Moxon saying, "Squad up, peeps. I just got home. This new job is killing me. I can't get to watch my favorite show. Right now, I feel like quitting." Brad, you want
Don't quit for
support
me.
Anna K?
No, don't quit. I have enough people to support in my life.
I know.
Children, ex-wives, everybody. No more.
But right.
No boss.
But listen, if you want a job where you get paid to watch Brad Show live, Spar Bernstein might be the place for you.
That's
Anna
right. We got a
K.
lot of people back there watching, right?
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
But they are working their butts off as
Yes,
well.
they are. Yes, they are. We've got a comment from Sandra Salinas who said, "Brad Bernstein, Kimberly Moore, Yonathan Elias, Yo-Yo, Sam the Lady in the Cubicle, Party Rock, My Squad, Bam Bam. I was in a bad mood, but now I'm not."
Who was
Thanks
that?
to the Brad Bernstein live show.
That's the
She called out the whole team here.
There was the lady in the cubicle. There was Party Rock.
Yeah.
There was Sam.
It's Jenny in the cubicle.
Jenny, but the lady
in the cubicle. There's no lady in the cubicle.
There's nameless
Right,
Jenny.
right. No, it's no name.
No name
Sydney. I don't know why it's no name Sydney. It just kind of stuck.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right. And
you have one more.
Yeah,
two
we got two more.
Okay.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
All right.
We're blowing it up today.
Right. We have one from Unique Terry Unique saying, "Big up self," or what is this?
Big up yourself.
Big up yourself, Brad.
That's Jamaican.
Yes. I'm at the laundry, and this lady asked me if that's Mr. Bernstein's show. I told her yes. She said she heard about you and needs your number, and I gave it to her.
By the way, you know who is in the comment section? We have not seen in a very long time.
Who's that?
Wet Sugar Donna. Hey! We were just talking about Wet Sugar earlier. You go back and look.
We were.
We were talking about Wet Sugar.
And DS, we still use Wet Sugar.
We still use Wet Sugar.
3 years
That's
later.
right.
That's hilarious.
Wet Sugar used to watch all the time.
She did.
She said that she has a new job and can't get to watch her favorite
she used
show.
to watch all the time.
These jobs are hated.
And then you know, we used to be like, wow, that is one sexy name, Wet Sugar, you know? And then whenever like the show would start going off the rails, we'd be like, Wet Sugar, Wet Sugar.
And I don't understand how we stop that.
I
Because
have no
quite
idea.
frankly,
We
the
need
show
it.
still goes off the rails
Yes,
frequently,
yes.
and we need a little Wet Sugar.
right.
We do. Finally, we've got our last comment of the day from Becky Hallelujah, who said, "This is the best show in the USA. I discovered the show myself last year and learned a lot and got my 10-year green card through your advice."
Wow! Best show in the USA. And as a bonus, she got a green card.
She got a green card.
All right? She watches the best show.
Yeah.
And she got a
And
green
she got a
card.
green card.
What can you ask more for that?
You can't.
I don't know.
You guys are awesome. We'll see you all tomorrow. It's Hump Day. Thanks for watching.
Oh.
So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?